Now to news out of College Station, where memorial services have been set for two of those killed in a shooting in College Station on Monday.
That shooting garnered international attention and immense community support here at home. More on that in just a moment. But first, a look at the services scheduled to remember those who died. A viewing will be held for Brazos County Constable Brian Bachmann, who was killed in the line of duty. It's this Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. at Christ United Methodist Church in College Station. That's on Highway 6 between the Rock Prairie and William D. Fitch exits. Then on Saturday, a funeral service for Bachmann will be held at Reed Arena on the Texas A&M campus starting at 2 in the afternoon.
And thousands of members of law enforcement from here in the Brazos Valley and across the state, as well as community members, are expected to come to the area this weekend to pay their respects. In addition to the memorial services, this weekend marks the start of A&M students returning for the fall semester. It is a tax-free weekend as well, so there could be some traffic issues this weekend.
Now, when we get more information, we'll let you know what streets and highways will be affected by the funeral, along with our coverage plans for this Saturday.
And services have also been set for Christopher Northcliffe, a bystander who was also shot and killed in Monday's shooting. According to the City of College Station, a funeral has been set for Saturday morning at 11. It will be held at Our Savior's Lutheran Church in College Station. That's just north of the Rock Prairie exit off of Highway 6.
Monday's shooting happened just a few blocks from the Texas A&M campus. While the university sent out a code maroon to warn students and staff the campus was never in any danger, but that wasn't known initially.
And some media outlets incorrectly reported details about the shooting, calling it the Texas A&M shooting or saying that the shooting happened on campus. And as News 3's Clay Foss reports, the university is working to set the record straight and make sure students feel safe when they return to class.
The shooting deaths of Brazos County Constable Brian Bachmann, bystander Christopher Northcliffe, and the suspected shooter, Trace Caffel, gripped the attention of not only College Station, but the world, with many news sources mistaking it as happening on the Texas A&M campus instead of a few blocks away.
We have info, unfortunately, about another shooting today, which took place at Texas A&M University.
If you do an internet search of Texas A&M shooter, there are too many misleading headlines to count. And the timing is bad, too, because students will be moving into campus this weekend. Jason Cook is the Vice President for Communications and Marketing at Texas A&M and says the university's response is continuing to let students and parents know the campus is safe.
And we take the security of our students, faculty, and staff very seriously.
The first code maroon alert went out at 12:29 p.m. Monday, warning of an active shooter southeast of Welborn Road and George Bush Drive.
We didn't know if the shooter was on the loose or on the run, and so it would have been very easy for someone to run across campus. So that's why we notified the way we did. They're even using our logos and marks as part of the coverage of events.
Today near the campus of Texas A&M.
Cook and his colleagues are working this week, contacting media outlets as needed to correct misinformation.
Texas A&M is a major part of the community, and when the community aches and has a tragedy, Texas A&M has a tragedy as well.
An outcome that's leaving an impact so close to campus. In College Station, Clay Foss, News 3.
And Texas A&M administrators will be doing a thorough review of the incident and their response to be prepared for future emergencies.
Flags are at half-staff today to recognize the loss our community has suffered. Texas Governor Rick Perry authorized flags of all political subdivision and businesses that wish to participate to lower their flags today, as well as on the day of funeral services for Constable Bachmann. But lowering the flags is just one of many ways people in Bryan and College Station have come together after those shootings. News 3 Stephanie talked to members of the community who are doing some special things to help the victims' families.
The community is in mourning 2 days after a tragic shooting in College Station killed 3 people and injured 4 more.
It was senseless. We need to get out there that we're a community that has so much more positive in it.
One example of that positive, giving spirit can be found at the College Station Hilton.
They come here, they don't have to worry about paying for the room. They don't have to worry about finding a room. They can go ahead and deal with the tragedy that just happened.
The Hilton has provided 11 free rooms for family members of the victims so far. The Genghis Grill is holding a fundraiser Thursday, August 23rd, and every dollar they make will go to the Bachmann and Northcliffe families.
It's the right thing to do. It's our community.
A neighbor lined Constable Brian Bachmann's street with flags. A sheriff's deputy is always parked outside the Bachmann's home to provide security and support for his family. Wings and More has offered to provide free meals for those sheriff's deputies, and the list goes on.
It's a very giving community. It's unbelievable what this community does for one another.
And it's even more unbelievable to hear a business general manager say,
It isn't about the money.
And we don't do it for publicity or anything, seriously. We do it because we want to help the community.
a sentiment shared by many in the Bryan and College Station community. Stephanie Ondo, News 3.
And age has not been a limiting factor for those looking to show support. College Station ISD's summer day camp program is setting up lemonade stands to raise money for Constable Bachmann's family. The camp counselors ended their fundraiser for today, but will be out again tomorrow from noon to 1 p.m. and then again from 3 to 6 p.m. 50-cent purchases of lemonade and any donations benefit the Bachmann family. They can be found at the campuses of Creekview and Rock Prairie Elementary Schools in College Station.
And even if you didn't know College Station resident Christopher Northcliffe or Brazos County Constable Brian Bachmann, you may have been, or you probably have been, touched in some way by their deaths.
It's the very reason so many have reached out to show support during this difficult time. Each day we're learning more and more about the victims and their families. News 3's Nicole Morton has this story.
Brian is not with us today.
It's a reality that Mark Hamlin says he still cannot fathom.
He sat in that chair Friday.
Knowing his longtime friend and former colleague Brian Bachmann won't be calling to say hello, or even more so, sitting in the same very chair ever again.
Brian's foundation was very solid. His focus was on being a true public servant. He was still humbled that people would entrust him with holding an office.
Gripping onto a coin that Hamlin says he never leaves home without.
What the coin says is put on the full armor of God, the breastplate of righteousness.
Bachmann gave Hamlin the coin after a church mission trip.
What he said is that no matter what happens to us, we know that he will take care of us.
Hamlin says the 41-year-old was a family man, and he says it's no surprise Bachmann's 10-year-old son Colby is holding down the fort now that his father is gone.
Colby said, Mr. Martin, got a request, and I said, okay. He said, the man that tried to save my daddy's life. And I said, yes. He said, I want to meet him, and I want him to sit with the family at the funeral. And I said, okay.
The family is finding strength today through friends, through community, and their infinite faith. In Bryan, Nicole Morton, News 3.
And if you would like to pay your respects or honor the victims of the shooting in your own way, KBTX has set a memorial page on Facebook. Information on funeral arrangements and memorial funds can also be found here. You can find the link on our KBTX Media Facebook page, or just type facebook.com/CS Victims Remembered 813.
A changing weather pattern could bring us some rain this weekend. Bob looks at that in just a moment.
And a bit later in sports, Daryl checks in on Texas A&M